Hi and welcome to MUSC Realist TV. I am Mick Ruby, an independent journalist, a broadcaster and content creator. I have over 15 years of experience in the world of football as a football intermediate, as a consultant and a change management agent. I decided that enough is enough. It's been 18 years of misery with the Glazer family running and ruining our beloved club, which is Manchester United. For 6 months, I've been dedicating myself working on this documentary, the GlazerOutReport. Why? Because I am a massive Manchester United supporter like you are. I put together this investigation file based on the history, the events, the facts, using timeline, applying logic and reasoning, interviewing dozens of people in order to kind of educate myself, in order to educate you as well, to connect the dots, presenting the clues in this documentary, giving you the fans with the alternative facts to form up your own mind. As a disclaimer, this is my views and findings. It doesn't really mean that I am 100% right. You know, it's an alternative. So I give you this report based on that fact. The purpose of this is to educate you. Young and old, it's green and gold, and yes, we're almost getting to the point where we are getting sold. It is up to you to decide, as this is proper journalism that leads to debates and opinions. Welcome to the Glazer Out Report. Please enjoy.
For 18 years, United fans has been protesting against the Glazers. We're not going away until we're sold. We won't be ignored. We won't go away. This is just the beginning. This is just the start. Green and gold until we're sold. We are united all over the world. This is how we will play.
Ownership. You get a few idiots. I'm going back further since when I was a kid.
UNITED, United is the team for me. With the 18 years we had it rough. Glazers up, we had enough. Fucking hell.
Don't just think it's the Premier League. On Manchester's doorstep, we've seen Bury, Macclesfield Town and Bolton Wanderers fans suffer terribly in recent years. Partly because people who are classed as fit and proper persons are allowed to take over football clubs. I don't believe that they are.
You won't have that.
Ah, fuck that shit.
Bada bing, bada boom, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is the first Ground Zero episode of the Glazers Out show. I'm your host, talking to myself as I have no guests. The one-man band, the designer, the content creator, the scriptwriter, the artist, the crazy mind that never sleeps, the dyslexic yet passionate to get the message out, as United is part of my DNA. Welcome to the world of Mick Ruby and Realist TV.
Thousands at Old Trafford, hundreds at the Lowry. United fans have mobilised 2 protests at once, and they couldn't be stopped.
Now, I've been working on this documentary for the past 6 months, but I've been a United supporter for all my life, about 50 years. A legacy passed from my father, from his father. This is great news that emerged out that the Glazers has put out the club for sale, or a partial sale, to the Rainy Group. In this episode, what I will do is use my knowledge, my ITK, some people say in the know. I'm not in the know, I'm just a person, a massive fan like you, that happened to work 15 years as a football agent and intermediate. I worked in Dubai, UAE as an advisor for the Royal Group family, and I tend to share, I call myself ITS. I'm a broadcaster and a massive Manchester United supporter.
The protests continue to build with more United fans arriving. Banners, flares, flags, thousands of United fans together. Granddads, dads, sons, mothers and daughters, young and old, united against the Glazers.
Before.
To let their feelings be known.
So why am I doing this? Well, first and foremost, you know that I'm a massive Manchester United supporter.
Yay! Yeah. Ole, 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 ole. Well done, mate. Seriously, I think Glazers needs to sell the club. This is the only way forward. I mean, I think Eric Ten Hag is building a new foundation. He's instilling the culture of winning mentality. You can see the way he wants to play football. Now, I think we as a fan base needs to unite, to be polite to each other, because I think if you look at Twitter Spaces, there's so many toxic environments that's been fueled by the press and the media, and I think the club needs to communicate more to its fans, to understand, to be transparent. You know, so this is what I'm trying to do. I try to be as transparent as possible, to tell the fan base what's going on in the field, the facts, the everything, and what's going on for the club as well. I think this is the way we can contribute as fans.
But I'm also a family man. My wife and children comes first. But after that, boy oh boy oh boy, it's Manchester United all the way. It's my everyday life. I live and breathe it. You know, it's been passed on. The DNA has been passed from my grandfather, who was a Busby Bay fan and a massive admirer of Sir Bobby Charlton. You see, my granddad was at that game, the European Cup qualifier against Red Star Belgrade. That was back then Yugoslavia. Of course, that is my heritage. United won that game by 5-4 on the aggregate after drawing 3-3 in Belgrade, thanks for goals from Dennis Violet and Bobby Charlton doubles, those booking their place to the semi-finals of the completion, who was at the game before. Now, the Munich air disaster occurred on the 6th of February 1958, when the British Airways Flight 609 crashed on the third attempt to take off. My grandfather never stopped talking about that game, never stopped talking about the disaster, and also how grateful he was to watch United play, and also his idols play. And he also talked about how grateful he was to see Sir Bobby Charlton score. He kept telling me these stories over and over again until he passed away 10 years ago. On the other hand, my father, who was a semi-professional footballer player, also back in Yugoslavia. Of course, my grandfather influenced him to like United and Sir Bobby Charlton, but he turned to George Best, as that was his idol, and of course George Best was the best. For me, I'm old enough to live through the greatness of Sir Alex Ferguson and the Fergie time era. I cannot lie, I keep hearing stories from my parents that, you know, Miko, they said, the first words what you were saying when you were crawling in your diapers was not mom and dad, it was United. Quite funny story, but that is kind of why I owe it to my grandfather and my family and my fellow United supporters. It runs in my DNA. You know, my grandfather would turn in his grave if he knew what the Glazers has done to his club. He would probably come back from the dead and reunite this revolution, to spit hellfire over him, to restore United the way it used to be. And this is one glory, glory, Manchester United, the way we know. And this is why I'm doing this. Are you willing to join me? Are you willing to join me?
Today is, what bigger message could be sent to the Glazers?
I understand there's a difference in the example, and I do really respect your opinion here, and I like having a conversation. I want to make this respectful. There isn't a product at the end of it, but there's a solution to the problem that we've got. And the adoption curve isn't solely used for products. Mentally, it doesn't work that way. It can work for products, it can work for solutions, it can work for change. You know? It really, really can. I've seen it operate. But I do respect your opinion, my friend. Thank you. In the current financial global market, inflation will hurt the Glazers' pockets as consumer spending decreases, interest rates hikes, impossible to service the debt. The Glazers need to sell. P.S. I am also dyslexic. But you write very well for being dyslexic, my friend. And I hope everything that you're saying is true.
100% it is. You know it. You're welcome. I'll send you an invite the other day.
I hope that what you're saying is true. I hope what you're saying is true. I really, really do. But there we go.
Careful what you wish for.
What the fuck should they do? What should they do? You sit there as ex-pros, as media, you know, making money off fans, charging them 30 quid a month to watch football and, you know, raking it in and all this and that. And like, look, that's fine. You know, that's business. Okay. Sky pay for the football, they get the money back from fans. Ex-players get paid £100,000 because people want to listen to them. That is absolutely fine. But what are Manchester United fans supposed to do when the club that they love has been treated like a bank for 15 years? It's hundreds of millions of pounds in debt. It's billions have been taken out of the club. And then 2 weeks ago, they basically said the Busby Babes, 1968, 1999, 2008, fuck that. We're not interested in any of that.
But I would like, yo, if that's what you feel strongly enough about doing and you want to fucking get your voice heard, go protest. That is your fucking right as a citizen to go fucking make your voice heard.
Yay! Yeah. Ole, 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 ole.